Imagine if you're a student going to school without eating breakfast, being hungry almost every single day. What would you feel? I believe most people would feel upset or even depressed because of the strong feeling of hunger that they are experiencing. But the surprising fact, according to an article published on CBS in 2024, of the variety of nationwide high school students surveyed in 2023, approximately half of them consume breakfast on 3 or fewer days. Roughly 18% of them skip breakfast every single day. This has become an increasing trend that we should be aware of. To demonstrate my personal credibility to speak on this matter, I have researched multiple peer-reviewed studies and reports from journals such as the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, the CDC, and also the National Institutes of Health. So today I'm going to introduce to you how skipping breakfast is related to low academic performance. Also, I hope by the end of the speech, I can convince you that skipping breakfast is actually hurting students' performance in school. To delve into this topic, first, I will discuss how skipping breakfast makes it physically hard for students to pay attention and participate in class. Second, I will explain how skipping breakfast negatively impacts cognitive function and short-term memory. Now, let's start with discussing how skipping breakfast makes it physically hard to pay attention in class. According to Rachel Null, who's a medical writer and also works as a certified anesthetist at the Level I Trauma Center, has stated in 2019, skipping a meal could lead to a hunger headache, which is a headache that can develop either gradually or suddenly, or in all of a sudden, typically causing a pain on both sides of your head. It usually goes away within 30 minutes after eating. Now imagine if you're students in class and you suddenly feel a pain on both sides of your head. I believe it is certain that you will be distracted from what the teacher is teaching in class. Also, according to what the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has published in 2023, if a student skips breakfast, their level of hunger hormones would be elevated, which could heighten the sensation of hunger and can lead to a stronger craving for foods that are rich in sugar and fat for instant energy, especially during lunch. As a result, the blood sugar level in students' body will experience a rapid spike followed by a sharp crash. This may cause drowsiness and sluggish feelings, which would disrupt students from paying close attention to afternoon classes. Now, since we have discussed how skipping breakfast would make students physically hard to pay attention in class, how does skipping breakfast negatively impacts cognitive function and short-term memory? Now, according to what CDC has reported in 2024, after a night of fasting, your body's glycogen stores are significantly reduced. But younger people who need a stable blood sugar level to support their cognitive performances often require a steady supply of nutrients to keep up their brain's metabolic activity. Therefore, if a student skips breakfast due to the drop in their blood sugar level, their ability to focus and perform cognitive tasks such as problem solving or language processing often decreases noticeably. Moreover, as Gary Wenk, a professor in neuroscience at the Ohio State University and Medical Center, has stated in his study in 2024, subjects who has increased their blood sugar level by eating breakfast were tested to be having an improved memory function. In contrast, skipping breakfast adversely affected the ability of subjects to recall a word list or a story read aloud recently, which means if the subject skips breakfast, their short-term memory has experienced a sudden decrease. Today I introduce to you how skipping breakfast harms students' academic performance by delve into two topics, which is how skipping breakfast makes it physically hard to pay attention in class, and also how does skipping breakfast negatively impacts cognitive function and short-term memory. Now, after everything we've covered, it is clear that a healthy eating habit is essential for academic success and health. Skipping breakfast does not only leave you a feeling of hunger, it also impacts your focus in class, your short-term memory, and even your long-term health. So, if you're a parent, start making the effort to let your students eat something before going to school, no matter it is a piece of fruit, some toast, or a protein bar can actually make a difference in how they learn. If you're a student, making the change to eat a breakfast in the morning could be the key to a much better future for you. So start eating your breakfast from today on.